I would just let people at home know the largest, fastest growing segment of the population that's buying handguns and firearms is African Americans and females. You know why? Because the criminals are the only ones that do have the guns. You have local governments that are holding up concealed weapon permits that are keeping law-abiding citizens from being able to simply use their Second Amendment right to protect themselves and their property and their families.
Okay, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp last night defending his policies, which removed roadblocks for growing numbers of blacks and women wanting guns for self-defense. Self-defense from the Democrats' pro-criminal policies. Joining me now is economist, president of Crime Prevention Research Center, and author of Gun Control Myths, Dr. John Lott, and Reagan biographer, presidential historian, and author of April 1945, Craig Shirley. Gentlemen, welcome. Dr. Lott, I'm going to begin with you. Your organization, the Crime Prevention Research Center, discovered that the FBI made some major errors, and that was charitable, in their reports on good guys with guns saving the day against bad guys with guns. Now, given their recent conduct, I have a hard time believing the FBI messed this up on accident. Tell us what you found.
Right, well, I was working in the Department of Justice up until January last year, and one of the tasks I had was to go and look at these active shooting reports that the FBI puts out. Active shootings are instances when a gun's fired in public, not involving some other type of crime like a robbery or a gang fight over drug turf. It could be anything from a shot fired and nobody hit all the way up to a mass public shooting. And over the 8 years from 2014 to 2021, the FBI claims that there was only 11 of those types of cases that were stopped by a citizen legally carrying a gun. I point out that they had missed many of these cases back when I was working at the Department of Justice. I even have it in writing that they acknowledge that they missed cases, but they haven't fixed any of the cases that they missed. We've recently updated the data up through the end of last year, and I find at least 124 cases versus the 11 that they claim. And I make no claims that I've found all 124 cases that were there. And so, and the thing is, so there are two issues. They say that 4% of active shooting cases are stopped. Those numbers indicate that at least 34%, but I'm more confident about the most recent data. And if you look at 2021, 49% of active shooting attacks were stopped by citizens legally carrying guns. And if you take into account that the FBI numbers mix together gun-free zones with places where people are allowed to carry, and I've argued strenuously that you can't expect law-abiding citizens to stop attacks where they're banned from legally having guns, you actually get a number that's about 60% of the attacks that are stopped.
Well, Dr. Lott, the facts don't comport with the narrative, and it seems even the FBI, just like the press, is trying to put out narrative over facts. Craig, the midterms are just 3 short weeks away. Democrats continue to harp on what? Race, abortion, January 6th. Meantime, the trend in gun ownership tells us women and minorities are afraid for their lives with Democrats in control and are partaking in their Second Amendment right, thankful that it's there. How big will Democrat policy-inspired crime be in this election, in your view?
Oh, Chris, crime is going to be enormous. It's going to be number 1, number 2, and number 3, along with inflation and the border. These are all issues that cut against the Democrats and for the Republicans, against Joe Biden. Look, Chris, you know, and I know, too, is that these off-year elections are always referendums on the man in the White House. And this is going to be a referendum, a campaign on Joe Biden. And Joe Biden, to his detriment, or where he stands now, he's in the 30s. And that means that 70% of the American people are against Joe Biden. Just think about that. This is going to be just a tremendous election. Republicans, conservatives will retake the House, retake the Senate, and hundreds, if not thousands, of state legislative seats. It's going to be a wipeout election for the Democrats. There's an avalanche coming, and there's nothing they can do to get out of its way. They're going to be buried underneath it.
Gentlemen, I hope we can continue this conversation when I have more time. I'm just plumb out of it right now. Dr. John Lott and Craig Shirley, gentlemen, thank you very much.